This is NBR Today. The Financial Markets Authority and Reserve Bank of New Zealand have published a damning report on 16 New Zealand life insurers. The regulators found extensive weaknesses in life insurers' systems and controls, with poor governance and management of conduct risks and a lack of focus on good customer outcomes. The unnamed life insurers reviewed will receive individual feedback and must report back by the end of June. Now, they'll need to provide an action plan, including how they'll address incentive-based sales volumes for internal staff and commissions for intermediaries, both areas of particular concern for regulators.
None of the stuff we're talking about is at all surprising or at all new, and we've been talking about it for quite a long time, and other jurisdictions have been through this mill. So, only to be saying at this point, yeah, we know it's got to change and we're working to change it, doesn't give me sufficient faith, to be honest, that the industry will do it on its own. And what we've said to the government is, although we are generally wary of demanding more regulation and more powers and more legislation in what's a very packed legislative, remit for the government, this does need, in our opinion, government action.
That was Rob Everett, the FMA Chief Executive. Now, in response, at a post-Cabinet press conference today, the government said it would fast-track consumer protection legislation for the financial sector following problems raised in today's report and one released in December on banking conduct and culture. Commerce and Consumer Affairs Minister Chris Farfoy said there are gaps in the sector's regulation that need to be addressed, and Cabinet has agreed to get rid of sales incentives in the insurance industry that are causing a conflict for salespeople, among other new possible regulations. Legislation is to be introduced by the end of the year. SkyCity has signalled a $15 million fall in reported earnings for the half-year ended December 31st. The company took to the NZX to signpost a strong finish to the half this morning, even though its reported earnings are expected to be well below the same period last year. Shares gained over 2% after the announcement. The company announced that it experienced growth in its international business, that's gamblers who fly from overseas to play for high stakes. It says it expects reported net profit to be $82 million, while normalised net profit, the company's preferred measure, is forecast to be about $97 million. That's up 11%. Well, the Treasury believes the Wellbeing budget will improve the policy advice it gives to this and future governments. While Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has extolled the virtues of the Wellbeing budget and talked a lot about kindness in politics, the Treasury's chief economist Tim Ing thinks the Wellbeing approach will bring a new level of discipline to government spending. He says this should ensure new initiatives and existing programs will be assessed more rigorously than they have in the past.
I wouldn't see it as a trade-off. I would see a wellbeing budget and a living standards approach as very much a development or a better way of performing the guardian of the public purse function. We have always been concerned about value for money, and so the living standards approach is a way of being clearer about what we mean by value for money.
Fonterra has paid tribute to its former chairman, John Wilson, who died yesterday at the age of 54 after a long illness. In July last year, Mr Wilson announced his intention to step down from the role of chairman to focus on his health, and he was replaced by John Monaghan after he retired from the board at November's annual meeting. In a note to the co-op's farmer owners yesterday, Fonterra chairman John Monaghan said Mr Wilson was a man whose dedication and commitment to the cooperative ran deep. Former colleague Malcolm Bailey says Mr Wilson helped make the dairy giant more transparent on its business performance and to establish the Farmgate milk price model, which has been critical to measure its performance. A subscription service that aims to take the hassle out of queuing for your lunch is launched in Auckland and Wellington this week. MealPal, which is already in 18 cities around the world, is partnering with 100 popular eateries such as Pit and Habitual Fix. Restaurants are selected by how busy they are at lunchtimes, the quality of their reviews, and ideally, their proximity to big office tower blocks. Co-founder Mary Biggins says the company's focus is on making the lunches affordable.
So with MealPal in New Zealand, you'll be able to get lunch for less than $8 per day. So you'll save, 40 to 50% off of the regular retail rate. If you're ordering from an Uber Eats or a delivery service, you're probably going to be paying the full retail rate and then paying for delivery on top of that. And so it makes the price point too high for people to be using it on a daily basis. Whereas with MealPal, because the price is so low, it's really a product that a lot of people will use as a habit, and it will be the way that they're regularly getting their workday lunch.
And so to tomorrow we go. In his column this week, Rodney Hyde says Jacinda Ardern has proven why she's not fit for the job. What's he talking about? Check it out tomorrow. For more on that and other stories, just head to our website. Have a great evening.
To unlock your 2 free articles a week, head to nbr.co.nz.